There you can see my proportional controller, and that's managed by the flow meter there, so that I can regulate my flow perfectly to whatever I program in the PLC. Quite accurate. Here you can see the outlet, which is currently manual, but I do have a valve for it I'm going to be putting in. There's for my gas hookup, which will be converted to electric with the boil coil soon. There's my pump, and there's the electric going to the pump, and you can see my chiller. The wiring coming down will be also cleaned up with something a little bit cleaner, but for now that activates a pump to turn on the pump going into my fermenter, and there's the line will be connected as soon as I sanitize everything to there, which I have a 3/4 solenoid valve that'll be going on there, so it can automatically open the valve and start the pump at the same time. And the pump is working automatically. The valve is still manual until I move it. You see the mash with the sparge arm in there. The system automatically calculates the volume needed based on my programmed grain ratio that I add to the recipe. And then it counts it with a flow meter. You see right there. And you'll see my rims tube right up underneath. That rims tube is activated based on that flow. So if that flow meter stops flowing, I have an interrupt set to automatically turn off the heat to the element so the element doesn't blow. That's for priming. I want to remove that at some point and put a self-priming pump in, but for now that primes it. Wiring is still pretty messy because I have not buttoned everything up yet. I will as soon as I have everything done. That way, because I'm moving wires and components around, I don't have everything set permanently. There's going to the rims. There's a water filter I have in line. There's just an extra hose in case I need to add water or something manually. I can just open the valve and add water. Handy for cleanup. There's where the water's coming in. You'll see the tubes coming down. Those are running to my chiller. I will be changing that at some point to a larger chiller. I think that one works, but I'd like one that moves a little bit better, like a Blickman perhaps. That shuts off all the electric, it shuts off the flow during sparge. Anytime I'm opening up that valve, I'm closing that valve, except when I'm priming the system. Here's the controller, PLC controller itself. See, right now it's mashing. Keeps my HLT temp. Here's my mash temp and the time, at least for the mash. Now here's a messy electric setup, but again, I don't have everything channeled in the correct channels. I haven't separated, 240 from 120 from 12 volt to 24 volt, but I will be as soon as I'm finished wiring some of the things, and I'm getting close to that point. The inside of it, it's my Unitronics controllers. I will be putting a shelf right underneath those because I have water inlet there. They're pretty stable, but obviously that's dangerous, so I have a shelf I've built to go between it and isolate this entire system from that system in case there's a leak. Right now that's all insulated from water, sealed from water, so if that overflows it doesn't reach into there. In fact, I've had some overflows during testing and development, and it did not reach into there at all, so which is good. I'm going to further isolate that. So where the water comes in and goes out from the chiller. There's my electric panel for it, and there's some of those. So I'll be putting some back panels on the top of that as well. Those are for my level sensors. My thermometers there. You see over there, that's a exhaust, so for cleaning place. I got tired of shoveling grain out of this, so I've made it so that I can fill it all the way up with water, open the valve. I got a pipe that I plug into it, all the water goes right out through the pipe with grain, so I get rid of most of the grain without having to actually shovel it, which kind of works. So that's it so far. Got some more work to do on it, but it's very, very, very close. I'll be putting some panels up to cover that with some buttons on it, adjustment knobs, a potentiometer to adjust the flow if I want to manually adjust that flow over what I've set in the program. But at this point, all I do is add grain, grind it, add the grain, turn it on. The program automatically calculates how much water to put in, calculates how much water I put in. It even calculates how much I've sparged so that it shuts off when I hit my desired sparge rate, or my pre-boil volume automatically shuts off. I can check my gravity at that point. If I need to add more or adjust it from there, I can, but generally my efficiency should be pretty spot on at this point. I have some work to do on my grind ratios and things like that, and my sparge, make sure that I can get a consistent efficiency, but it's quite efficient as it is. I don't know the numbers offhand, or I tell you, but I'm shooting to get it right around 80%, which should be good for it. There you go.